Let me tell you something you don't hear enough, and I need you to really hear this. Growth does not happen when you feel ready. Growth happens when you feel uncomfortable, when you feel stretched, when you feel exposed, when you feel like quitting. Comfort feels good, but comfort has never changed anybody's life. Discomfort is the price of evolution, and if you're not willing to pay that price, you will stay exactly where you are, no matter how much potential you have. See, everybody wants the reward, but very few people want the resistance. Everybody wants the testimony, but nobody wants the test. Everybody wants the glow up, but nobody wants the grind up. Discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. Discomfort is a signal that something is working. It's proof that you are stepping into unfamiliar territory, and unfamiliar territory is where growth lives. Let me be clear. If you always feel comfortable, you are not growing. If everything feels easy, you are not stretching. If nothing challenges you, nothing is changing you. Growth demands pressure. It demands sacrifice. It demands that you let go of who you were to make room for who you're supposed to become. And that process is not smooth. It's messy, it's painful, it's lonely at times, but it's necessary. Most people run from discomfort because they think pain means danger. But the truth is, avoiding discomfort is more dangerous than embracing it. When you avoid discomfort, you avoid discipline. When you avoid discipline, you avoid development. And when you avoid development, you settle into a version of yourself that never reaches full capacity. You don't fail loudly. You fade quietly. Discomfort exposes who you really are. When things are easy, everybody looks disciplined. Everybody looks motivated. But when it's hard, when you're tired, when nobody is watching, when results are slow, that's when character shows up. Comfort hides weakness. Discomfort reveals strength you didn't know you had. And the only way to access that strength is to stay in it long enough. Let me tell you something about pain. Pain is a teacher. Pain gives feedback. Pain tells you where you need to grow, but comfort numbs you. Comfort makes you insensitive to your own potential. You start adjusting your goals to match your comfort instead of adjusting your habits to match your goals. And that's backwards. You can't become disciplined without doing disciplined things when you don't feel like it. You can't become confident without facing situations that scare you. You can't become great without repeatedly putting yourself in positions where you might fail. Discomfort forces adaptation. It forces focus. It forces growth. Comfort allows excuses. And here's the part most people miss. Discomfort doesn't last forever, but regret does. The pain of growth is temporary, but the pain of staying the same will follow you for life. That quiet frustration, that what-if voice, that feeling that you sold yourself short. That's the cost of avoiding discomfort. Every level you want requires a version of you that doesn't exist yet. And that version is built through discomfort, through early mornings, through late nights, through doing the work when nobody claps, through choosing discipline over feelings. Comfort wants you to protect your current self. Discomfort demands you build your future self. You don't get stronger by staying where you're safe. You get stronger by stepping into resistance and refusing to back down. Growth is uncomfortable by design. And if you keep trying to grow without discomfort, you're trying to break a rule that life does not bend for anybody. Let me talk to you about the fourth thing, because this is where a lot of people get exposed. Comfort doesn't just slow your growth, it lowers your standards. It changes the way you see yourself. It changes what you tolerate. It changes what you accept. And once your standards drop, everything else in your life starts dropping with it. See, when you're uncomfortable, you demand more from yourself. You pay attention to details. You show up prepared. You hold yourself accountable. But when you get comfortable, you start cutting corners. You start letting things slide. You start saying, it's good enough. And good enough is the language of people who have stopped pushing. Comfort makes average feel normal. It convinces you that showing up late is okay, that missing a day won't hurt, that skipping the work once in a while doesn't matter. But success is not built on big decisions. It's built on small, consistent standards that you refuse to compromise. And comfort slowly negotiates every one of those standards away. Let me be real with you. High standards feel uncomfortable. Discipline feels uncomfortable. Excellence feels uncomfortable. Because excellence demands effort when nobody is forcing you. It demands integrity when nobody is watching. Comfort wants convenience. Excellence requires commitment. And you can't have both at the same time. When you lower your standards, you don't notice it at first. It happens quietly. You stop reading. You stop training as hard. You stop preparing as much. You stop challenging yourself. And because nothing bad happens immediately, comfort tells you it's fine. But over time, those lowered standards show up in your results. Your performance drops. Your confidence drops. Your belief drops. And then you wonder what happened. Standards are self-respect in action. When you hold yourself to a high standard, you're saying, I believe in my future. When you accept comfort, you're saying, this is enough for me. And if you settle long enough, you start to identify with the version of yourself that stopped trying. Look around. The difference between people who stay stuck and people who break through is not talent, it's standards. It's what they do. On days when motivation is gone, it's what they refuse to accept. Comfort tells you to protect your feelings. Standards tell you to protect your future. Let me tell you something straight. Nobody rises to the level of their goals. They fall to the level of their standards. If your standards are low, your life will match them. If your standards are high, your life has no choice but to rise. But high standards come with discomfort. They require you to say no to things that feel good in the moment, but cost you later. Comfort wants you to blend in. Standards require you to stand out. Comfort wants approval. Standards demand respect. Comfort asks, how do I feel today? Standards ask, who do I need to become? And that question is uncomfortable because it forces honesty. Every time you raise your standards, you raise the pressure on yourself. And pressure reveals who you really are. Comfort hides behind excuses. Standards eliminate excuses. They force you to look in the mirror and take responsibility. And responsibility is heavy. That's why most people avoid it. But if you want it, life that's uncommon, you have to live uncomfortably disciplined. You have to decide that average is unacceptable. That excuses are expensive. That comfort costs too much. Because once you let comfort set the standard, your dreams will always feel out of reach. Not because they're impossible, but because your standards no longer support the life you say you want. Let me give you the fifth thing, because this one hurts the most. Comfort doesn't just keep you where you are, it slowly disconnects you from your purpose. It makes you forget why you started. It numbs the fire that once kept you awake at night. And when purpose fades, effort fades with it. See, purpose requires pressure. Purpose requires struggle. You don't discover why you're here when everything is easy. You discover it when you're tested, when you're tired, when you're doubting yourself and still showing up. Comfort removes those moments, and without those moments, your purpose stays dormant. Comfort convinces you to live on autopilot. Wake up, repeat the same routine, chase the same results, complain about the same problems. Days turn into months. Months turn into years. And one day you wake up and realize you've been busy, but you haven't been intentional. You've been active, but you haven't been aligned. You don't lose your dreams overnight. You lose them slowly. You lose them every time you choose easy over effort, familiar over faith, comfort over courage. And the dangerous part is this: your comfort zone doesn't feel like an enemy. It feels like rest. It feels like peace. It feels like, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow keeps moving, and your dream stays right where it is. Most people think failure kills dreams. No, comfort kills more dreams than failure ever could. Failure hurts, but it teaches. Comfort feels good, but it traps. It lulls you to sleep while your potential is screaming to be used. You wake up one day, years later, tired not because you worked too hard, but because you never went hard for what you said you wanted. Let me be real with you. If what you're doing right now doesn't scare you just a little, you're probably not growing. Growth is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. But staying the same while knowing you were meant for more, that pain hits different. That regret lasts longer. You say you want success, but you love routine. You say you want greatness, but you avoid pressure. You say you want change, but you keep choosing what feels good instead of what builds you. Dreams demand sacrifice. Dreams demand discipline. Dreams demand that you step into rooms where you don't feel ready, where you're not confident yet, where you might fail, but where you will grow. Your comfort zone will lie to you. It will tell you you're fine right where you are. It will tell you there's time. It will tell you not to risk it. But everything you want, everything lives on the other side of discomfort. And the moment you decide to move, the moment you decide to stretch, the moment you decide to do what's hard instead of what's easy, that's the moment your dream starts breathing again. Let me tell you something real, something most people don't want to hear. Your comfort zone is not loud. It's not aggressive. It doesn't announce itself like fear or failure. It doesn't come crashing into your life. It whispers. It settles in. It feels safe. It feels familiar. And that's exactly why it's so deadly. Because while you're relaxed, while you're comfortable, while you're telling yourself everything is okay, your dreams are slowly suffocating. See, the comfort zone doesn't attack your goals directly. It attacks your urgency. It attacks your hunger. It convinces you that you've got time. It convinces you that tomorrow is guaranteed. It convinces you that average is acceptable when deep down you know you were built for more. And the scary part is, you don't even feel like you're losing. You feel like you're surviving. You feel like you're stable. But stability without growth is stagnation. And stagnation is a slow form of death. Most people don't fail because they're not talented. They fail because they got comfortable. Comfortable waking up late. Comfortable skipping the work. Comfortable avoiding the pressure. Comfortable saying, I'll start next week. Comfortable watching other people win while telling themselves they're next. Comfort doesn't push you. Comfort doesn't challenge you. Comfort doesn't demand anything from you. And anything that doesn't demand more from you will never produce more for you. Let me be clear. Comfort is not rest. Rest is earned. Comfort is avoidance. Comfort is when you choose ease over effort again and again. Comfort is when you know what you need to do, but you keep choosing what feels good instead of what grows you. And every time you do that, you're voting against your future. You're telling your dream, not today. And dreams don't die from rejection once. They die from neglect over time. You ever notice how potential feels heavy when you don't use it? How you get tired even when you're not doing anything meaningful? That's not physical tiredness. That's purpose frustration. That's the weight of knowing you were created for more, but choosing comfort instead. That's the pain of unused greatness. And no amount of entertainment, sleep, or excuses can fix that. Comfort zone living will make you feel busy but unfulfilled. You'll move, but you won't progress. You'll exist, but you won't evolve. You'll look successful on the outside, but inside you'll know you settled. And settling is dangerous because once you accept comfort, you start negotiating with your standards. You stop demanding excellence from yourself. You start calling average balance. You start calling fear wisdom. You start calling laziness self-care. Let me tell you this straight. Your dreams were never designed to be comfortable. They were designed to stretch you, to pressure you, to force you to become someone you've never been before. Growth requires discomfort. Transformation requires struggle. And the version of you that can handle the life you're praying for does not live inside your comfort zone. Every breakthrough you admire came from someone being uncomfortable longer than others were willing to be. Every level you want is guarded by discomfort. And until you make peace with being uncomfortable, your comfort zone will keep quietly killing everything you say you want without ever raising its voice. Let me tell you the second thing you need to understand if you're ever going to escape the comfort zone, and this one hits hard. Comfort kills urgency. It makes you feel like you have time when time is the one thing you don't control. Comfort convinces you that because nothing is falling apart right now, nothing needs to change right now. And that mindset right there is the reason so many people wake up one day shocked at how far behind they are. See, urgency is what separates people who talk from people who transform. Urgency is what gets you out of bed when it's dark. Urgency is what makes you move even when you don't feel like it. But comfort tells you, you're good, you can rest a little longer, you can wait a little more. And waiting feels harmless. Until years pass and nothing changes, comfort lies to you by saying tomorrow is guaranteed. It whispers, you'll do it when things slow down. You'll chase it when you're ready. You'll become serious when the timing is right. But the truth is, the timing is never perfect, and readiness is built in motion, not in waiting. Comfort makes you delay decisions that your future is begging you to make right now. Let me be real with you. People who stay comfortable don't feel pressure, and pressure is necessary for growth. Diamonds don't form in comfort. Muscles don't grow in comfort. Discipline doesn't develop in comfort. Urgency is born when you realize that every day you don't act, you're paying interest on regret. And comfort numbs that realization. It dulls your awareness. It puts you to sleep while life keeps moving. You don't lose dreams all at once. You lose them slowly, through postponed action. You lose them through one more episode, one more year, one more excuse. Comfort makes procrastination feel reasonable. It makes laziness sound logical. It makes fear look like patience. And before you know it, your goals start to feel unrealistic. Not because they are, but because you waited too long to pursue them with urgency. Urgency forces clarity. When you're urgent, you stop overthinking. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop asking for permission. Comfort keeps you confused because confusion gives you an excuse not to move. Urgency says, I don't have time to be confused. I need results. Comfort says, let's think about it. And while you're thinking, someone else is working. Asterisk, you ever notice how people change fast when they're uncomfortable? When there's a deadline, when there's pressure, when there's no backup plan. That's urgency. But when life is easy, effort drops. Standards drop. Focus drops. And comfort convinces you that lowering your intensity is maturity, when really it's just you losing your edge. Let me tell you something straight. Your future doesn't respond to intentions. It responds to urgency-driven action. You can want it all day. You can visualize it all night. But without urgency, nothing moves. Comfort keeps you dreaming. Urgency forces you to build. Asterisk, and the saddest part is this. Comfort doesn't look dangerous. It looks responsible. It looks calm. It looks safe. But safe doesn't get you free. Safe doesn't unlock potential. Safe doesn't create legacy. Urgency does. Urgency says, I don't have forever, so I'm moving now. And until you replace comfort with urgency, your dreams will stay right where they are, waiting on a version of you that refuses to get comfortable with wasting time. When you're connected to purpose, you don't need motivation. You move with urgency. You move with hunger. You move with clarity. But comfort dulls that urgency. It tells you tomorrow is guaranteed. It tells you there's time. It tells you to slow down, and purpose doesn't respond to later. Purpose demands now. Let me be clear. You don't lose your purpose all at once. You drift away from it. One skipped commitment. One ignored calling. One decision to choose ease over growth. And slowly, the voice that once pushed you becomes quieter. Not because it left, but because comfort taught you not to listen. Purpose will challenge you. It will stretch you. It will demand sacrifices. That's why comfort and purpose don't coexist. Comfort wants peace without progress. Purpose demands progress even when there's no peace. Comfort wants balance. Purpose wants obedience. You know when you're walking in purpose, because it scares you a little. It asks more of you than you feel ready to give. It pulls you into rooms you don't feel qualified to be in. Comfort pulls you back to what's familiar. Purpose pulls you forward into what's necessary. And here's the dangerous part. When you stay comfortable too long, you start rewriting your dreams to fit your lifestyle instead of adjusting your lifestyle to fit your dreams. You lower the vision. You make the dream smaller. You tell yourself you're being realistic when really you're being afraid. Purpose requires risk. It requires faith. It requires you to move before you feel secure. Comfort wants guarantees. Purpose wants commitment. Comfort asks, what if it doesn't work? Purpose asks, what if you don't try? You weren't created to just survive. You weren't created to just get by. You weren't created to live a life that feels safe but empty. That feeling you get when something inside you says, "There's more," that's not dissatisfaction. That's purpose knocking. And comfort teaches you how to ignore that knock. When you're disconnected from purpose, you still function, but you don't feel fulfilled. You still succeed, but it feels hollow. You still move, but it feels heavy, because movement without meaning drains you. Hustle without purpose burns you out. Purpose gives pain a reason. It gives struggle a direction. Comfort removes both. And when there's no reason to endure pain, you avoid it at all costs. That's why comfort makes you quit early. That's why comfort makes you settle. That's why comfort makes you forget the version of yourself who once said, "No matter what, I'm going all in." Purpose doesn't disappear. It waits. It waits for you to get tired of being comfortable. It waits for you to get honest about the gap between who you are and who you're supposed to be. And the moment you step back into discomfort, that fire comes back, that clarity comes back, that hunger comes back. Because purpose only reveals itself to those willing to leave comfort behind.